9:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome into the Chris Hand Show. I just want to address what you're thinking before we even get there. Yes, the Chiefs lost last night, but Mac Morey is here.
I made it.
You made it.
Yeah. Disgruntled I may be, but I'm here.
Well, it's I feel like at this point we have better chance of you not showing up when they win. That's when you get the woo flu. So I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, me too.
If you weren't...
hopefully you can cheer me up, Chris.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
If you weren't here, I wouldn't be able to play this.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Get that out of here.
What's wrong?
Stop it. Yeah.
Pretty good, right?
This is better than you having the jersey, I guess. I should have expected it.
All right. I don't even know if that's like a real Eagles thing. I just
No,
was like,
it is.
Do the Eagles have a song? That's a real thing?
That's their thing, yeah, for sure.
All right. I was like, I need to harass Mac somehow. So let me find something.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! Yeah.
All right.
Hey, 0093 gets it. Way too many drop passes. That's right.
Oh, yep.
Correct. Good analysis.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Can you put that on the hotkey? Can you make a hotkey for me, Mac?
Don't.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
It's fine. They can have the one in November. Took the one in February. Oh, gosh. It's fine.
Is it?
John Harris, I was wondering if Mac was going to make it. I'm here. I'm here, John.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I'm just kidding. I don't really like anything about Philadelphia. I just want to give you grief.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, it has very little to do with the Eagles. Much more to do with messing with Mac.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
You had no idea this existed.
Literally didn't know they were playing yesterday until this morning.
And you're like, oh, they lost. All right.
I
Let me do some catch up.
I haven't done anything mean to Mac in a while.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
So let me figure out what happened with the Chiefs.
No, you turn it over twice in the red zone. You drop a bunch of passes. Yep, that's what happens.
Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what. Yeah, that's okay. Well, that's nice. All right. Nope.
I don't know what any of that stuff means you're talking about.
I just know.
I don't know. Is that good? I don't know. Is that bad?
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Yeah. It's all good.
All
It's
right,
okay.
Go ahead and save that one for later.
Yeah, hopefully you don't need that one again. Gosh.
No. I meant like later in the day. Like, well, I'm going to need it again. And just for good measure.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
Definitely going to need it later. I'm just going to wait until you're not expecting it.
7089 says, be careful, Max fixing to quit.
Where are you going to go, Mac? What are we going to do?
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I will veto them.
Okay.
That's all I have. That's all I have is my rebuttal.
Of course, everybody on the super text line was a Canadian know about football. John and Andrew both at like the exact same time. Shut up, Canadian. I didn't know you guys were Chiefs fans. I'm sorry, John and Andrew.
Hey, thanks, guys. We'll be strong together, John and Andrew. Screw this guy.
All right.
That was literally the first thing I thought when we lost, too. I was like, I'm going to have to go into work tomorrow.
Deal
with this.
0110 said, Chris Hand is killing this horse that's already dead.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
All right. We'll get back to that dead horse later. Joe Biden, it was his birthday yesterday. Did you hear about this? He was celebrating his birthday. I was joking during the radiothon. We took a day off from bashing him because it was his birthday. We scheduled the radiothon on the day of his birthday. But to the radiothon point, thank you to everybody for coming out and supporting our Hunger to Hope radiothon, benefiting the Nashville Rescue Mission, raising over $240,000. It's unbelievable. This audience shows up and shows out more than any other audience that I've ever seen in radio. And I mean, I've been in a lot of different cities. I've lived in Richmond and Detroit and Pittsburgh and Boston. And I'm honestly telling you, There is no other audience like the WTN audience. Nobody shows up for radio stations the way you guys show up for this radio station and for the causes that we get behind. And for that, I say thank you. And I truly mean it. One year, it was like, man, this was like 10 years ago. I had 3 days of a radiothon benefiting a children's hospital. 3 days. 3 days straight, 12 hours every day. We raised $140,000. And I don't say that to knock the other radio station because I was proud of that total, and I was proud of the work that we did and the money that we raised for the children's hospital that year. But I say it to really highlight the fact that this audience shows up when we ask you to every single time, and it is an honor to be a part of this station and to have this listening audience in our corner. We couldn't have done any of that without you, and we made a huge difference yesterday. So to that, I say thank you. Also yesterday was Joe Biden's birthday, and he was having a banger of a day. He was pardoning turkeys and eating cake.
And by the way, it's my birthday today, and they can actually sing birthday music.
Did you hear what he said?
What they actually sang?
They can actually sing birthday to me.
It's my birthday today, and they can actually sing birthday music.
They can actually sing birthday to me.
It's my birthday today, and they can actually sing birthday music. I just want you to know it's difficult turning 60. Difficult.
This is a little comic book villain laugh at the end there.
We should have the president be making a young joke about turning like 40 or 50. His young joke's about turning 60.
He's very old. He's very. All of the polling shows that he's very old. All of the polling says he's very old. But he was there to pardon these turkeys, and in Thanksgiving fashion, he wanted to pardon the turkeys, so he had to pull out his giant teleprompter and then read everything wrong.
So I'm told by the Turkey Federation of Liberty Bell and Liberty and Bell, they love Honeycrisp apples. Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Ice hockey.
Oh, ice hockey.
I sure in hell would like to see them play ice hockey.
Are these Canadian turkeys?
1,000 lakes and the Mall of America.
So he had trouble there. Apparently these turkeys are from Minnesota, don't you know? And that's the land of 10,000 lakes. He missed a zero there.
1,000 lakes.
Just 1,000 lakes. They're hockey loving turkeys. And then he starts bragging on the turkeys, and I don't know. I feel like you could take what he's saying here and then use it at a speech on the border with brave climate refugees, and it would sound pretty similar.
Now, just to get here, Liberty and Bell had to beat some tough odds and competition. They had to work hard to show patience and be willing to travel over 1,000 miles. You could say even this harder than getting a ticket to the Renaissance tour or Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Brazil right now.
So that joke fell flat. Did you catch that joke?
No.
You didn't catch that.
What was it?
He said it's warmer where he says, they could have traveled somewhere warmer. And then he mentioned Britney's tour.
Britney's tour. She's down.
It's harder to get a ticket than it is for Britney's tour.
Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Britney's right now.
Okay, so just to break it down, I know you know because you're a Chiefs fan. Britney's not the one in Brazil. It's Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Is he thinking Britney Spears?
I think that's what he was going with, is Britney Spears.
That's bad.
And then also, he said it's kind of warm in Brazil. A fan died at Taylor Swift's concert.
Just happened.
Yeah. She died, and Joe's, he missed it.
Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Brazil right now.
Kind of warm. The deaths of 2 people happened at Taylor Swift's concert because of the heat. This concert was nuts. I don't know why you would want to go to a Taylor Swift concert in Brazil, but people did. And there was 2 people that died from heat, muggings, a dangerous heat wave, disappointed fans, and it was just chaos. Absolute chaos.
Nice. Oh, okay. That's.
Damn it! Who touched?
There you go.
Like that? You keep being mean to me. I tell you what I'm going to do.
EAGLES Eagles!
This is not okay.
I'm going to have that one saved all day. I'm ready to go. And then after Joe Biden gets through pardoning the turkeys, who may or may not have been illegal immigrants from Canada, he goes on to hang out with some kids. And I don't understand why Joe Biden's allowed near kids.
So I'm told by the Turkey Federation.
Oh, not that one. Sorry. There. Keep Biden away from kids is the what I labeled this in my notes.
Thank you. And I love your ears. I love them. They're really cool. What's your name?
Catherine.
Catherine, what a beautiful name. That's my mommy's name. Well, nice to see. How old are you, 17? 6.
6. Ah! I like how the girl's friend jumps in the way, like, bro, she's too young for you. No. She's 6.
She's 6, bro.
She's too young for you. But, I mean, for a president that has a history of smelling kids' hair and doing all sorts of weird things, you would think the people on his staff would say, like, listen, just don't. Don't go near the kids. That one might have even been innocent. Maybe he was just trying to be like a sweet old guy. But with your history, sir, I would just refrain from doing it. But he doesn't refrain. He doesn't know how to refrain.
And by the way, I like kids better than people. I wish I could stay and watch Wonka with you, but I'm not going to get to do that.
He's so sad.
He wants movie and nap time.
I wish I could stay and watch Wonka with you, but I'm not going to get to do that. Also, he says...
I like kids better than people.
Is that like I like dogs better than people? Kids are
people.
Kids are people.
For sure humans.
Do you fact check that for me?
I'm on it.
I'm pretty sure kids are people. But he wants to hang out and watch Wonka with them.
I wish I could stay and watch Wonka with you, but I'm not going to get to do that.
So as we're staring down the holiday weekend, I was thinking to myself, I wish I could have one holiday without that liberal family member.
But I'm not going to get to do that.
All right. Did you fact check that? Kids are people, right?
Yeah, kids are in fact people.
All right, confirmed. Oh, jeez. This is what this man is doing. Absolutely ridiculous. I know it's a short week. He's actually he's getting ready to head on down to Nantucket. Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about it. They have a family tradition, a Joe Biden family tradition where they go to Nantucket every year.
How is the president planning to mark his birthday? I ask, as he mentioned it during the turkey partying. It looks like he's got some family here. We're going to have like a party or a dinner.
So he's gonna do what they normally do, how they celebrate the president's birthday. There's a tradition, which they're going to keep to that tradition, which is they'll be able to celebrate the president's birthday as a family together in Nantucket later this week, and certainly we'll do that with coconut cake, which is something that they traditionally do.
Oh, they got the coconut cake. Okay, so he's going on vacation. I don't know if is that like a birthday tradition or is that just like a every couple of day tradition for this president? Meanwhile, as he's saying, I'm going to come to Nantucket, they're bracing for his arrival. Reports are saying, and you know where he's staying at a billionaire friend's $34 million 13-acre beachfront compound. Ooh. It's got a tennis court and a hot tub.
They're watching the sea levels for us.
Remember? Yeah, it's exactly right. Listen, he puts himself on the front lines of climate change for us. So on his birthday, no less.
Selfless.
It's his birthday. Those sea levels could rise at any moment. So we thank him for that. Our fearless leader. This is It is crazy, though. I mean, think about how much tax money is being spent for him to celebrate his birthday on Nantucket at a luxurious compound. It's a family tradition. So everybody has family traditions like that, right? You guys,
Of course.
We always stay at.
Yeah.
I mean, usually we're like $40 million compounds or up. We try to class it up.
That seems a little conservative what Biden's doing, but
it's very, very conservative. And he's got hundreds of people following him. I don't know if you're familiar with Nantucket, but it's not huge. So he's got hundreds of people coming with him. It's a 13,000 square foot home. There's a chance that he gets lost. There's a chance he gets lost there, and we never see him again. I'm just being honest. There's absolutely a chance of that.
Where am I? What's going to happen to me?
We don't know. We don't know. All we know is that you have to keep an eye on the sea levels. So thank you. Thank you for that. Happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday.
belated.
He doesn't know.
No.
He doesn't know. We could tell him his birthday's tomorrow. He'd probably be straight with that. Be like, oh, it is? Awesome.
Sweet.
Can we watch Wonka? It's like, no. Nobody's watching Wonka, sir. Oh, it's my birthday, though.
Dang it.
I want to watch Wonka. You can't watch Wonka.
But I'm not going to get to do that.
No, you're not. You have to go get lost in your 13,000-foot square home you're renting on Nantucket. All right, it is 9:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. This is the Chris Hand Show. Phone lines, text line open. Numbers the same for both, 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
EAGLES Eagles!
My name is Crystal Knight. I was actually addicted to meth. I had lost my children, my home, my family, all of it. And I was broken and I had really nothing left. We've got the staff who show the love of Christ every day.
Okay, so you each get...
It's the network here helped me get clean and stay clean. I'm coming up on 3 years. I've worked here over 2. This place changed my life. I just hope that they donate to this place because they'll love it as much as I do. If they just look into it a little bit, it changes lives.
Negotiations are in what's being called the final stages for a release of at least some of the Israeli hostages. Also keeping an eye on the roads and on the troopers this holiday week. Those stories coming up at 11:30 on News Talk 99.7.
Thank you, Joan.
You are welcome.
Bang up job. We're excited for Joan's first newscast on Super Talk 99.7 WTN coming at the bottom of the hour. Real quick, Lindsay in Pleasant Shade, does she want to give me a hard time or you a hard time?
I think it's both of us.
She wants to give us a hard time. All right, Lindsay, you're next on Super Talk. What's up?
Hey, I hear you picking on him with the Eagles thing, and I've decided you guys need to have a full-out. Oh, yes. He needs to find a hotkey with you being Canadian on it.
I wasn't picking on
Lindsay.
Lindsay, I wasn't picking on him when I played this.
Oh, my gosh. Lindsay, make him stop.
Sing him back. See, this is what we need. 30 seconds of the zing the hot button battle off, and then I'll decide who wins.
All right, perfect.
I'll gather my ammo.
For the record, I'm the guy that decided to play Oh Canada the other morning and lean into the joke.
That is true.
That's it, you know?
That is true.
Mac just doesn't know how to have fun like I do.
Find something else. Find a blomp, blomp, blomp.
But
find
Mac
a hotkey battle off.
He doesn't come in willing to have fun with himself on the hotkeys and do stuff like this.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
I've asked if he wanted to. He doesn't want to.
Lindsay, I got this for you.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay.
That'll do it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way, we are going to talk about the upcoming 2024 race. I have updates on Donald Trump, who he's getting endorsements from, and more. And that happens after the newscast with our friend Joan, her first newscast on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, which starts right now.
All right, here we go. 9:30 here on this Tuesday morning. I'm Joan Jones. Well, the rain is coming to an end, and we've got more in the forecast in just about 5 minutes. Also want to tell you about some trouble on the roads this morning. Briley Parkway, westbound at Whites Creek. There's an accident that's blocking the left lane there. And then a couple of problems on 24. I-24 eastbound, it's at Whites Creek Pike, and then also at Hickory Boulevard. Those are accident scenes. And then I-24 westbound, MLK Parkway, that's backed up because the lanes are blocked there. The left lanes are blocked because of an accident. News this morning, a deal to get some of the Israeli hostages back is shaping up. Reports say that it is shaping up, though, to be more like a swap, with just 50 women and children, Israeli hostages, being swapped for Palestinian prisoners, and a 5-day pause in the fighting in Gaza. Here's ABC's Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv.
A motive.
Well, we will talk to Matt Gutman shortly. Hey, if you're putting the pedal to the metal to get home for the holidays, better watch out for more Tennessee troopers on the roads. Those troopers will be stationed every 10 to 20 miles along all the interstates. Well, if you are feeling punky, COVID is making a comeback, although not nearly at the same rate as it was in 2020. Those free COVID tests from the government are back too. And just like before, you can get 4 tests delivered free to your front door by visiting covidtests.gov. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
A Roth IRA versus a traditional IRA. Which one should we do? A lot of people struggle over this particular decision. And I'll just give you a couple tools to figure out what might be better for you. Think about it this way. Let's say if I had $1,000 that I was thinking about investing, that was income, $1,000 of income. With an IRA, let's say that you're in a 30% tax bracket. Let's say there is such a thing. And you want to put this money in an IRA. You're going to save $300 in taxes. Now, if you go post-tax with like a Roth IRA, this is how much goes into the Roth IRA. Now, let's say that later on down the road, we have this money and it didn't grow at all, just to keep the math really simple. And let's say that at some point in the future, you're in a lower tax bracket, because the way our tax system works is that your first income is taxed at a really low rate, and then you get up into higher rates, 10%, 12%, 22%, and so on and so forth. It gets higher. If you're earning income and you're at that particular tax rate up there, you might want to avoid that tax rate right now and take the income at a later point in time when you're in a lower average tax rate. Now let's say that you're in a 10% bracket down here when you pull the money. How much are you going to pay in taxes? 10% of $1,000 is $100. How much do you get to spend? $900. Well, even though I didn't have growth, I had growth because of the difference between my tax rate here and here. And that's the idea. That's one of the things that we look at. We look at Social Security taxation, income taxation, and a lot of factors that might drive you in a higher or lower brackets in the future. If you want to learn more about our approach to investing and financial planning, go to paulwinkler.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call or call 615-851-1950. A Roth IRA versus a traditional.
.937 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I just want to say that was a great first newscast by our friend Joan. Got tons of super texts coming in saying, great job, Joan. And we got one text from Mike that said, LOL, Ken finally convinced Dan to let him go home at 9. He's still here.
He's still here.
He's still here. He's doing his thing. Don't worry. Don't worry. Somebody who's still here and also, I guess, trying to do their thing, Joe Biden. This fight for the White House, he can't be the nominee. He just can't. He can't. There's too much infighting in his own party. In fact, now the youths, the Utes, as people will call them, the Gen Zers, are calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe. That's what they're calling him. Old Genocide Joe. I'm a Sleepy Joe guy myself. I'm partial to that nickname, but Genocide Joe, it's creative.
Protesters here in D.C., in New York, across the country, they've settled on a nickname for the president. They've been calling him Genocide Joe. They wrote it on the gates. Do you have a response from the White House to that nickname that they've settled on?
We're not worried about nicknames and bumper stickers. I mean, it's First Amendment, free speech.
We're not worried about that. Hurt old Joe's feelings. And to have to ask that question on his birthday was pretty sad. Pretty mean. But Genocide Joe. The Gen Z, they're out on Joe Biden. They're out. And speaking with the New York Post, reporter Steve Nelson, John Kirby said the nickname Genocide Joe is all free speech. Not worried about nicknames. I mean, Joe Biden and the Democrat Party have to be panicking. If they don't have Gen Z voters, who do they have? Seriously, there's so much infighting in their party. And he has lost the youth vote over the Israel-Hamas war. Right or wrong, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what side you're taking in that, but he's lost the youth vote. NBC covered this as well. Biden is losing Zoomers. No matter how you slice it, he's losing Gen Z.
We mentioned the drop in that approval rating and the connection to the Middle East, and here it is. On foreign policy, 33% approve of Joe Biden's job performance. Just in September, we asked the same question, and it was 41-53.
These numbers surprised our own pollsters.
A Roth IRA
Steve,
versus a traditional
IRA. He
IRA.
cannot remember a time when a foreign entanglement that didn't involve U.S. troops had the capacity to transform the electorate, and that's not the case in this poll.
No, and it
a Roth IRA versus a traditional IRA. Which one?
Overall, this is the handling of the Israel-Hamas war. And again, it kind of measures overall up with Biden's foreign policy approval. But look at this. Among the oldest group of voters, 65 plus, there's a majority who approve of how Biden is handling this. That's plus 12. Look at the youngest group of voters. 20 approve, 70% disapprove. He is 50 points underwater.
So Gen Z doesn't like the Israel-Hamas war. It's interesting. They say older voters are fine with Joe's handling of it. And I'll tell you what, I had NBC Nightly News on last night. So if you deal with kids, you know how this goes. We have a Roku TV, lost the remote. I have no idea what these kids do with it. I've lost like 10 remotes. So all I can do is turn on the TV. And then, for whatever reason, the TV wasn't catching Wi-Fi, so I couldn't use the Roku app on my phone. So I just had to. I have one little button that I'm using, and I could get it over to live TV, and then it goes to streaming channels. And the streaming channel that was on was NBC Nightly News on loop. When I'm watching NBC Nightly News on loop, I understand why older voters are like, "Oh, Joe's doing great." I don't understand why anybody would watch NBC Nightly News. It's a trash broadcast full of fear porn. But when you watch it, they act like Joe Biden's doing his thing. So, of course, the older voters are going to be fine with that. The people that are subscribed to legacy media are going to look at that and say, Joe's doing good. But the younger voters, they shy away from it. The younger voters are on TikTok. The younger voters are on the internet getting their information. The younger voters have been indoctrinated in government schools to hate the country. The younger voters have been effectively brainwashed by communist propaganda because of their government-funded schooling. So the only people that the Democrat Party has to blame when they realize Joe is underwater in Israel versus Hamas is the Democrat Party. They effectively took over our education institutions and have brainwashed the youth. And then they go, how can this be happening? How come the kids don't support Israel. Well, you train them to hate Western democracies. So it's kind of the bed you made, and now you're laying in it, and you're supposed to be shocked. You're shocked at these recent poll numbers that Joe Biden's approval rating with foreign affairs, foreign entanglements, as Kristen Welker put it, entanglements, like she's Jada Pinkett Smith or something. She says foreign entanglements, the younger voters, 70% disapprove. And they're shocked.
With the youngest group of voters, that is a 62-point net swing between youngest and oldest on this topic of Israel and Hamas.
And it's a critical group of voters that he needs in order to win re-election, that's for sure.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Is anybody else realizing Joe Biden is hemorrhaging votes? Absolutely hemorrhaging them. None of the groups underneath the Democrat umbrella get along. They don't. And you can see it in full light right here when you're looking at these polls where the youth don't support how Joe Biden's handling Israel versus Hamas, but the older generations do. You can see it when you see Muslim American voters not getting down with the LGBTQ diversity libraries that they're putting in our schools. But the LGBTQ alphabet mafia want more books like that in schools. You can see it when you have illegal immigrants flooding blue cities and the African Americans that live there saying, if you don't handle it, we're going to have to handle this in the streets. None of these people under this umbrella get along and vibe out with each other. It's not working. And there's too many issues right now, it feels like, that is going to be able to, somehow bring this party together and have everybody pull in the same direction for Joe Biden. It just doesn't seem like it's going to work out. It can't work out for Joe Biden. But they'll tell you he's the most popular president ever. 81 million votes. 81 million. It's amazing. But the polling shows that he is the least popular president ever. His popularity slips to lowest level of his presidency, and NBC is shocked. He's at 40% approval rating. 40%. Who are these 40%? I can only imagine that they're watching NBC Nightly News and thinking, Joe's doing great. Joe's doing great. But he's not. He's not. And you can see it everywhere you look in this country. I mean, heck, Joe Biden lost Cardi B over the weekend. Cardi B went on another rant on the Twitters and the Instagrams, flipping out about Joe Biden and inflation. I'm going to spare you the audio on that. But while Joe Biden seems to be falling apart and just falling over himself in general, Trump is out there, and he's getting endorsements from some of America's biggest governors. Trump is on the campaign trail. Has Joe Biden even really been on the campaign trail at all? Because Trump has been on the campaign trail, and Trump keeps picking up endorsements. He had Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and now he's got this governor.
We need a president who's going to secure the border. We need a president who's going to restore law and order in the United States of America, not letting these criminals run ransack over the stores that you see images of almost nightly. We need a president who's going to restore world peace as opposed to this outbreak of warfare under Joe Biden.
Amen.
We need Donald J. Trump back as our president of the United States of America. I'm here today to officially proclaim my endorsement for Donald J. Trump to be president of the United States of America again.
All right, if you're keeping score at home, that's what, for as far as governors go. We got Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We got Greg Abbott now. We had Kristi Noem. So I think we just need Ron DeSantis to get in there and endorse him. Can Ron drop out of the race and endorse Trump now? Is it time? I think it's time. Trump had this to say at this rally where Abbott endorsed him immediately following.
And you're not going to have to worry about the border anymore, Governor. Your people have been so incredible. You're not going to have to worry about the border in Texas or in Arizona or anywhere else where it's such a complete disaster. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. Tremendous people, tremendous state. We love it very much, and I'm honored by the governor's endorsement. That's a big endorsement. He's not free and easy with endorsements. You look at his record. You don't do too many endorsements, I have to tell you that, Governor. So this meant a lot to me, and it's an honor to have come here and to accept it. And it's an honor to be with everybody today. And we are going to go out and we're going to make America great again. It's very simple. We're going to make America great again.
It's very, very simple things. We're just going to make America great again. It's very, very simple. But we need to just end this farce of the RNC primaries. Trump actually is demanding change at the RNC if they don't end the primary debates and focus funds on the election. And I think that this is so on point. I mean, Trump is light years ahead. Light years ahead. A Harvard-Harris poll released said that Trump was up 58 points ahead of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. 58 points. Can we stop wasting RNC funds on debates? Can we? I think that this is a good point. We need to stop the RNC debates. Trump said on Truth Social, RNC must save money on lowest ever ratings debates. Use it against the Democrats to stop the steal. If not, revamp the RNC now. And he's so true. It's so true. We are wasting money in the RNC on these debates. These debates which will effectively mean nothing in the long run. Donald Trump is going to be the nominee. And we haven't really done anything, it feels like to me, to address the ballot harvesting, the mail-in ballot schemes, and the like. The only guy that's doing anything out there in this arena is Scott Pressler. And maybe they should give him the head of the RNC so that way he can actually revamp what they're doing there to look more like 2023. But instead, they'll probably hire some leftist like Rachel Maddow to moderate more debates. Now, I know the next one is Megyn Kelly, but is anybody even going to watch it? No. That's why what Vivek said on the debate stage was so on point. You want to bring new eyes into the Republican Party? Where's Tucker Carlson moderating? Where's Joe Rogan moderating? I'm sorry. Nobody's going to set their alarm and say, this is must-see TV. Megyn Kelly's moderating the debate. Megyn Kelly moderating a debate didn't mean anything, hasn't meant anything since 2016. But they'll just recycle those old parts and get her back in there and try and have her moderate this next debate. It's laughable. It's laughable at best. And Trump is absolutely right when he says that they should just cancel these debates. They're the lowest ever rated and use that money to stop the steal, and if not, revamp the RNC now. I think that is on point, and I think we do need to do that. We do need to do that. I got more stuff on DeSantis. I got more stuff on latest polling coming out about which candidates small businesses prefer and more. We'll cover all those stories on the way. It is 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Still got crashes in the way. Whites Creek, Briley Parkway westbound. An accident there blocking the left lane. And then in Jolton, 24 eastbound, got a crash between Whites Creek Pike and Old Hickory Boulevard North. That is a 53-minute delay. We got word of a possible deal for a ceasefire in Gaza. Black Friday is almost here. Nashville stores and law enforcement getting ready. And a new survey of Americans who say they're living paycheck to paycheck. These stories and more at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You see, guys, Dan didn't let Ken leave at 9. We told you.
Yeah. He's here.
Almost got away, boys. But he apparently caught me leaving out of the corner of his eye.
Dan stopped you in the hallway and pulled his best Biden and said, don't.
Yeah, he said, don't. Jack.
Don't.
Jack.
Don't. Dan, I'm just going to my car. He's, don't.
Don't.
Well, we're happy that you're still here, Weaver. And tell Joan she did an awesome job on that last newscast.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We are so happy to have her on the team. And we're happy to have all of our listeners on the team as well. We got updated numbers from the Radiothon. And I mean, this is unbelievable. The Nashville Rescue Mission, they do such great work. And because of you guys helping us during the Radiothon yesterday, we raised $243,134.
Amazing.
That equals 85,311 meals.
That's awesome.
It's so cool, man, to be able to do something so big with the help of our listeners here at WTN. Again, we couldn't have done any of that without you guys, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all of your support yesterday. What an amazing day. And not just because it was Joe Biden's birthday, but because of all the hard work and sacrifice that everybody put in to make that goal really, really amazing. So thank you for that. On the way, I want to talk about Donald Trump, the latest polling about who small businesses prefer, as well as who Ron DeSantis says he wouldn't welcome for a visit. We'll talk about that next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ten o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Israel-Hamas war. Matt Gutman says a deal for hostages may be close, but Hamas is asking for Israel to agree to a 5-day pause in the fighting first.
The sticking points are that Israel is concerned it will not be able to maintain control over the skies and that Hamas will drag out that hostage release, extending the ceasefire. The White House sounding very optimistic. Despite that, both sides telling us today they are incredibly suspicious of the other side and that this might still fall through.
Yeah, we understand this has been a top meeting in the Israeli cabinet today. Right now in Nashville, everyone gearing up for Black Friday. So are police. The Tennessean says police have installed sky cameras to better identify theft suspects. In addition to working extra patrols with Black Friday approaching, a new study by Forbes Advisor says Tennessee came in at number 11 in the nation as areas most impacted by retail theft, missing the top 10 in the nation by a very slim margin. And in money news, a new survey from Lending Club finds 60% of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Elizabeth Schulze says many are blaming the high prices when you go to the grocery store or for housing and for rent.
Fidelity reports that the typical 401k balance dropped by about $5,000 between July and September, but it is still up $10,000 compared to this time last year. And when you take a big picture look at the economy, the jobs market is historically strong and consumer spending has been surprisingly resilient as we head into the holidays. Some retailers are cautious that this fast pace of spending and shopping can keep up.
Now, speaking of spending, based on data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and the U.S. Census Bureau, it can be calculated that each American household carries an average of $7,951 in credit card debt in a year. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, with the rain rolling in, now is the perfect time to poke your head down in your crawl space and look around for standing water. I know it's been dry lately, so maybe you haven't been able to see the standing water in your crawl space, but today is going to be a good day to look. And if you see that standing water in your crawl space, you got to do what I did. Call my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. Now, no matter what your house may be dealing with, the guys at USS can help you. So if after the rain you're noticing water in your crawl space, if you see wet basement walls, cracks in your basement floor, that's your house trying to tell you something. So give the guys at USS a call to check it out. 615-488-7855. They can help you with so much at your house, from foundation repair to sinkhole remediation or repair, crawl space, floor supports, crawl space encapsulation, basement wall realignment. They do it all at USS, but they say that they're one of those services that you don't know you need them until you know you need them. So check out your crawl space and see if you need the guys at USS. If you do, call them today, 615-488-7855. You'll be one of 25,000 satisfied customers, and you will not be disappointed. Call USS today, 615-488-7855, or online, USSTN.com. 10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Democrat Party is falling apart. Gen Z voters do not like Joe Biden. Weird. I mean, not many voters like Joe Biden. But you can see the Democrat umbrella and the parties underneath it, the infighting. It's starting to cause an effect in the Democrat Party. And I don't know if Joe Biden can be the nominee for the Democrats. I want him to be. I think that he is the best man for the job, if you know what I'm saying. That's our easiest path to victory. But I think at a certain point, Democrats are going to be like, yeah, it's not going to work. It's not. And while Donald Trump is racking up endorsements from governors like Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Greg Abbott, he's out there on the ground serving food to the sheriffs at the border, and they love him. The people love President Trump. I don't see anybody ever look at Joe Biden and be like, wow, what a great guy, and like want to shake his hand and take a picture. They usually just want to like help him down some steps or help him cross the street or something. But, you know, this is where we're at. I don't think Joe Biden can be the nominee and win. Crazier things have happened. 81 million votes, am I right? But new polling is showing that even job creators preferred Trump over Biden. In fact, small business support of Trump over Biden is 61% to 28%. Are you shocked by this? A slew of recent surveys, this is from Breitbart, slew of recent surveys show a majority of Americans souring on President Joe Biden's sluggish economy and favoring former President Donald Trump on the top issue heading into the 2024 election cycle. The Job Creators Network Foundation released a poll showing small business employers backing Trump 61% to 28% for Biden. That was a survey of 400 small business employers. They were asked who they believe would do the most to help Main Street, Trump or Biden. Overwhelmingly Trump. Overwhelmingly Trump. And it's not shocking. Biden's trashing the economy. Trashing the economy. There's no way around it. You can see it in everything you look at. And they'll send people out there to say, oh, we're doing good. We're making progress. Janet Yellen was on CNBC, and she was saying just that. You know, hey, we're making considerable progress.
So I think we're making considerable progress in bringing inflation down. And we saw this clearly in last week's news. 12-month headline inflation is down to 3.2%. That's down almost 6 percentage points from its high. But although prices in general are rising much less quickly, Americans still see increases in some important prices, including food.
Oh, yeah. Well, Americans still see increases in some important prices, including food. the plebes notice the inflation, but up in her ivory tower, Janet Yellen's like, oh no, we're doing great. We're doing great. We're making progress. But since Biden took office, we've seen at least 17% of a price hike. Food prices up 20%, rent up 18%, electricity up almost 25%, plus a 3% drop in real wages. But Janet Yellen will tell you, things are good. Prices are still going up, just not as fast. And sure, the average American's going to see this in food prices. But what does the average American know?
From where we were prior to the pandemic. And this remains notable to people who go to the store and...
Oh, it's notable. It's notable to people that go to the store. Janet Yellen has people that do that for her, I assume. So maybe it's not as notable for her.
This remains notable to people who go to the store and shop, or rents, although they're rising less quickly now, are certainly higher than they were before the pandemic.
Oh, thank you, Janet. So yeah, if you shop, or if you go to a store, or if you rent, you're noticing that inflation and prices are still going up. But that's the only that would be the only way you would know that inflation is still an issue. If you shop, or go to a store, or rent. These are things Janet Yellen doesn't have to worry about.
So I do think we're making considerable progress in bringing inflation down.
Oh, considerable progress, you guys. As you're going through the grocery store and you're buying your Thanksgiving trimmings and your sides and your snacks and your cakes and all the things, just remember, Janet Yellen is saying that we're making incredible progress, considerable progress, you guys. Consider that when you look at your Thanksgiving meal bill. Think about the progress that we're making, okay? Don't focus on the negative. Think about the considerable progress. The only people that notice it are people that go to the store or shop or rent. So, just the plebes. Nobody else notices that.
But Americans do notice higher prices from what they used to be accustomed to.
Oh yeah, Americans do notice. We all notice. We all notice. That is for sure. 100%. We all notice. You can't look anywhere and not notice. And she knows. She knows why what people are blaming for the high prices. It's Bidenomics.
A recent poll by the New York Times and Siena College finding 59% of voters under 30 rate the economy as poor. So, philosophically and sort of intellectually, you can look at a lot of these numbers and say, this is a great economy in so many ways on a relative basis to history and the like.
Do you hear how he sets that question up? He goes, well, philosophically, we can look at this and say the economy's great. Philosophically speaking. If we were to talk theory and philosophy, the economy is doing great.
Philosophically and sort of intellectually, you can look at a lot of these numbers and say, this is a great economy in so many ways on a relative basis to history and the like. But at the same time, you have poll numbers and others saying that they don't feel it.
Yet I'm aware of that, and I think it's our job to explain to Americans what President Biden has done to improve the economy.
Please explain. Please, can somebody, they've been saying this for months, that all they need to do is explain what they're doing. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, go on, explain. Because it has been months of them saying, we just don't have the right messaging. Things are great. We just have to verbalize it. We just have to explain it to the American people. Please explain. Can somebody explain what's going on with the economy and what Joe Biden is doing? Because all they tell us is that, yeah, the economy is actually great. You just don't let us explain. And then we wait for an explanation. Things get worse, and they say, but you haven't let us explain. All we need to do is get out there and explain to the American people what we're doing. They all say this. Every single one of them. That's like their biggest talking point. If I just could explain what we're doing, then you would understand. But I wait for them to explain. I hope that they would explain what they're doing, and we never get the explanation. Weird. Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about the president's horrendous job approval numbers, and this is what she had to say.
The polls that show that the electorate at large and also significant majorities within the Democratic Party believe that the president is too old. The polls that show the American people and also significant majorities within the Democratic Party don't want him to run again. And the polls that show his handling of the economy, foreign policy, all of these dismal polls, his job approval ratings. Does the White House have any basis to challenge the accuracy of that polling?
I'm not challenging the accuracy here. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying to you is that, we're not going to change the minds of Americans. I get that. Americans are going to feel how they feel, and we're going to respect that. And I've said that many times from here. Many times. I said that moments ago. What I can tell you is what our perspective is. What I can tell you is how we see things.
Yeah, we know how you see things. I don't want to bury the lead, though. What Karine Jean-Pierre said there is telling.
We're not going to change the minds of Americans.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not changing anybody's mind. We know exactly what this regime is all about. We know that they don't care about the average American. They will gaslight us till the cows come home. And they know they're not going to change our mind. They know that. We're not going to change the American people's mind.
We're not going to change the minds of Americans.
Oh, okay. But for months they've been saying the economy is great. We just need to explain. We need to get our messaging right. And that's what Janet Yellen's saying. We just need to show the American people how the economy is doing. But Karine Jean-Pierre is apparently punting on that now, and she's just saying
we're not going to change the minds of Americans.
We're not going to change their minds. So we don't even have to explain anymore what we're doing or what we're trying to do, because we know we're not going to change the mind of Americans.
We're not going to change the minds of Americans.
Weird. So Janet Yellen says we have to explain what we're doing. We gotta tell people why the economy is so good. And Karine Jean-Pierre says, we're not gonna change their mind. Moving on. And they're not going to change people's minds. They just won't. Like I said, Trump is out there getting endorsements from governors, meeting with local sheriffs. The people love him. He's having these massive rallies. Small businesses prefer Trump over Biden. Joe Biden, meanwhile, is just sniffing kids and crashing the economy. Let's check in with Ron DeSantis. Let's see how his presidential campaign is going. DeSantis, during a town hall with Newsmax last night, he was talking about China's Xi Jinping coming to San Francisco. San Francisco, they cleaned it up in record time. There's some really weird things about what happened in San Francisco. About how, do you see the video where when Xi rolled up, a Marine had to step out of the way of his car. They almost hit a Marine with the car. They're making Marines hold the Chinese flag. When Xi was driving through the city, it looked like China. There was nothing that would tell you it was San Francisco. Lots of weird stuff coming out of that, and I didn't like a lot of it. But what Ron DeSantis said in this town hall with Newsmax, I thought was kind of a baffling move. He was asked if he would welcome President Xi for a visit in Florida, and he said, "No, we wouldn't do that. I think that when you see what happens," he went over to China and groveled to Xi, and they all do this. Like San Francisco is a pigsty, but because it's Xi, they do all this stuff, and they actually clean the feces off the street. He says a lot of good things here, but he does say that he wouldn't have Xi Jinping come visit him in Florida. I think that that's a lie. I don't think he's telling the truth. He says, so not only will we not welcome Xi in Florida, We've already taken action. We've banned China from buying land in the state of Florida. We kicked out the Confucius Institutes from our universities because we understand the threat. And so it's not exactly something. I had one of the candidates, I think it was Haley, who was like trying to attack me because she really invited China in as governor. So he's playing both sides of the fence here. But of course Ron DeSantis would have Xi Jinping in Florida. Of course, if he was president, he would communicate with Xi. And that's not saying that he's not doing good things to make moves against China in Florida. I think he is. I think the fact that they kicked out the Confucius Institute, they banned the buying of land in Florida from China, I think those are all good things. But to say that you wouldn't welcome him for a visit, he's either lying or he's dumb. He's the leader of the second most powerful country in the world. Of course you would welcome him in for a visit. Of course you would. It doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't. So he's either lying or he's dumb. Maybe both. Maybe both. DeSantis, I still feel like ruined his political career going after Trump, and he's delaying the inevitable. He is not going to be the nominee. He should back out the way Tim Scott has done, the way Mike Pence has done, and he should just pull back and pray and hope that people forget this as we move towards 2028. Because 2028 was always going to be his time, his opportunity. And maybe he's done too much damage now to recover for 2028. I don't know. Great governor, does a great job in Florida. Terrible presidential candidate. Though, the bar's been set pretty low with Joe Biden, both as a candidate and as a president. So maybe there's hope for Ron yet. It is 10:20 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, True Social, at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. And then, depending on what you post, I may have to unfollow. I had unfollowed somebody the other day, retweeting all sorts of weird stuff.
What's weird?
It was porn. It was. They were okay. I'm just scrolling through Twitter, and it was like, what?
Well, yeah.
So I had to unfollow. It was weird. It was just.
It was just weird.
Yeah, not what I wanted to find on my Twitter timeline. So as long as you don't do that,
that's a different X site.
Yeah, it's a different X site. As long as you do that, don't do that. We can be friends on the social medias. 10:21. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Still got a crash impacting Whites Creek, Briley Parkway westbound. He got the left lane blocked, and then a crash 24 eastbound between Whites Creek Pike and Old Hickory Boulevard. That's a 34-minute delay in Jolton. We'll tell you about a governor giving colleges money to find people expressing hate or threats online. And Black Friday's near. Nashville retailers and police are getting ready. These stories and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Okay, I caught one of those teases. College is giving money to find people saying mean things on the internet.
A governor giving money.
A governor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sounds very communistic, doesn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like who decides what content?
Ken Weaver, who watches The Watchmen?
That's right.
Yeah, it's
That's
weird.
right.
Weird how that works out. Commie's going to do commie things. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not even really shocked. It's what they do.
You won't be shocked to hear which governor either.
Oh, I have a guess. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it, though, because we got to get that TSL.
Okay. Does it rhyme with crockle?
No, it's a long O.
All right. Stay tuned for Ken Weaver's newscast. Now that the tease has been tantalized, you know what I mean?
Yes.
We're on the edge of our seats, Ken Weaver, waiting for the latest updates from
you better buckle up, baby.
commie governors. Oh gosh, here we go. All right, it is Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 1027. My name is Chris Hand. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I do want to say thank you once again for everybody that helped out with our Hunger to Hope Radiothon. Unbelievable day. We raised $243,134, which equals 85,311 meals. We couldn't have done it without any of you, and we truly, truly thank you. It was an awesome day. It felt so good getting out there and helping people, and that's what we were doing, and it felt good. It did. So thank you for making it all possible. We really appreciate it. Also, I want to talk about, we have another Super Talk Live event coming up in Mount Juliet.
Heck yeah.
December 8th, right?
Coming up.
It's going to be hype. I'm turning it into a Christmas party.
Oh, okay, great.
I've decided that.
As it should be. It's December.
It's going to be a Christmas party.
You're going to make people wrestle around a metal pole?
Not a Festivus party, Ken Weaver.
Okay.
Christmas party.
Where is it? Mount Juliet. Where is it?
I don't know. I thought you knew.
Was you prepared?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm gonna ask Dan the day before like I normally do. No, I'm just kidding. It's
I'm going to our Facebook page, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, where you can find the information.
99.7 Facebook page. That's where you can get all the information on this Super Talk Live event. The cool thing about this one that we're doing in Mount Juliet is it's free.
Ooh.
So no tickets will be sold. You can just come as you are, and it's free. I'll be the guy standing next to a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, which I'm bringing. I'm turning it into a Christmas party. It's going to be so hype, and I'm ready for it. Do you have the details yet?
No,
Mac. Come on, man.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Come on, Mac.
No pressure, brother Mac.
You knew that I wasn't coming into this prepared. And yet you let it go.
I did not know that. I guess I should assume that.
You thought I was going to be prepared for this?
Here we go. Super Talk Live.
Yes, sir.
This is this is the 7th, December 7th at 4 o'clock. So there's one blunder, which is that's a Thursday, December 7th, Thursday, 4 p.m. Scoreboard, Cedar Creek, Mount Juliet.
Yes, sir.
Hype.
Faux free.
Hype.
There you go.
Dude, it's going to be so much fun.
That's going to be great.
I'll be the guy in the corner saying this.
E-A-T-L-E-S.
Oh, my gosh. Shut it off.
What? Why don't you like this? Oh, here we go.
That's what you get. That's what you get. You Canadian.
All right. I'd rather be a Canadian than a Chiefs fan.
E-A-T-L-E-S, Eagles!
Also, I don't know what team you guys are playing that week. Who are you playing that week? In December, the Chiefs? Because I'm going to have to get that jersey.
Oh, you're going to have to get that team? Yeah, I'll have to check the schedule. I'll let you know.
Find out
Might be the Bills.
Do they have a fun chant? Does that mean I have to jump through a table or something?
Yeah, you're going to have to jump on a table. Exactly.
All right.
If we lose to the Bills now, that's what you have to do. That's the only thing that'll make this worth it.
If I have to do that to roast you, I will. I will. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver with the news of a commie governor.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 2 minutes. And right now in America, New York Governor Kathy Hochul just announced funding for college campuses in her state to put together threat assessment and management teams in response to what federal authorities say is skyrocketing online hate and threats since the start of the Israel-Hamas war.
These teams are working to identify violent threats. They're not looking at your Instagram sunset post or your tweets about your favorite football team. And they're not here to penalize anyone for their political views.
Hochul says the teams are tasked with finding people mental health counseling before a crime is committed. Here in Nashville, retailers gearing up for Black Friday, and so are police, with the recent trend in shoplifting where thieves go into high-end stores, take as much merchandise as they can hold, and then run away without paying. Some of the ways police hope will be a deterrent includes the installation of sky cameras to better identify suspects. They're also working extra patrols. The Tennessean says a new study by Forbes Advisor says Tennessee came in at number 11 as areas most impacted by retail theft. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Thank you for joining us on the Chris Hand Show. Mac Morey producing, Ken Weaver in the newsroom. For the record, I was pretty close when I said, does it rhyme with crockle? As far
You
as,
were.
As
Yeah,
far
right
as
there.
commie governors go. I looked at Mac during her newscast. I said, didn't I say that? And he said, well, you said crockle. It's hokel.
So it'd be croakle there.
It would have been croakle.
Now, some might say it is a crock.
It is. Nothing like the government policing people for speech, right?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the whole deal. Yeah, hate speech is dangerous, but who decides?
Hate speech is free speech.
It is free speech.
The Supreme Court decided that quite a long time ago.
Right. But do you then say, here's somebody, go get them?
I mean, they're right on your neighbors.
Are you sure they did that? Oh, yeah, I'm positive.
It just feels like Europe when you get in trouble for misgendering somebody, or you say that the government's not amazing on Facebook, and they get a knock at your door.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say, it feels very Canadian.
You'd know.
Would I? Okay, Mac, calm down there, brother. All right, so I for the record, I just wanted to let you guys know I was right about that. I knew it was her. I knew it.
That's a pretty good bet.
Nice job.
It's leave it to a blue state governor to do something communist. Happens all the time. Many such cases, as former President Trump would say, many such cases. So, sorry, where was I? What was I going to talk about? All right, so Karine Jean-Pierre giving a press conference yesterday. She talked about Joe Biden's birthday, the time they're doing on Nantucket. Everybody's excited. Everybody's excited that he's going to Nantucket. I think that they just get excited at the White House anytime he goes away. But they also talked about they're delivering for the American people. Did you know that? Did you know that they're delivering for you?
Can you say whether this White House has a theory of the case on how you win over young people, whether it's on this conflict specifically or generally?
So look, as when we say win, I'm going to be very careful, right? Don't want to make sure I'm not speaking to 2024. That is something certainly that the campaign can analyze and speak to more broadly, and how that looks for them and how it looks for that campaign, the president reelection. What I can say is we're going to continue focusing on delivering for the American people. That includes young people.
I wish they would focus more on that. I don't feel like they're as focused as they need to be on delivering for the American people. Can't speak on 2024. That's something for the campaign to speak on, but we're going to focus on delivering for the American people, and that includes young people. Please focus there. Please.
Right. That includes making sure that we meet them where they are, whether it's student loans, whether it's an economy that works for all and does not leave them behind. Those are the things that you see the president do day in and day out as we put forward policy plans, and that include young people as well. I'm going to leave any of the analysis, any of the specifics to any poll, to dozens of people, certainly on TV, right? It's kind of a cottage industry out there. They're going to analyze that. They're going to speak to that, leave that to them, leave that to the campaign to speak to winning young people or anything that's related to 2024.
I was just going to leave it to the people on TV to win over young people. It's an interesting theory. Do young people watch TV? You're going to leave it to the people on TV? Okay. All right, cool. But she also brags about the president's stamina. And it's like, it just seems like these lines are so recycled at this point and so rehearsed, but they say them over and over and over again.
I would put the president's stamina, president's wisdom, ability to get this done on behalf of the American people against anyone on any day of the week.
Anyone. I'm of the opinion that anyone could probably do a better job any day of the week than Joe Biden. Anyone. You listening right now, you could do a better job than Joe Biden any day of the week. I'm willing to bet on that. Then she was also asked about the report of David Axelrod saying that he needs to step aside. And she's like, listen, I can't tell people what to think.
You mentioned the president's excited to be celebrating his birthday, but I'm curious, David Axelrod told the New York Times, quote, Biden thinks he can cheat nature here, and it's really risky. A, what's the president's response to David Axelrod? Does he respect his opinion? Does he think he's right? But also, I mean, is there a real alarm happening behind the scenes that the president is simply too old to stake around for another 4 years?
No, there's no alarm happening behind the scenes.
No, the alarm is happening in front of us every single day. It is not behind the scenes. We can see it on full display. We don't need to pull back the curtain. Everyone can see the alarm ringing.
I can only speak behind the scenes here. There's no alarm happening behind the scenes, and I'm certainly not going to comment on everybody who has something to say.
Nobody. I mean, David Axelrod
I didn't say that. Nowhere in my response to you that I said that. I said I'm just not going to comment on everyone that has a comment to say.
I didn't bring up David Axelrod. Did you bring up David? Nobody's talking about David Axelrod. I just can't comment. I'm not going to comment on what he had to say.
They're going to speak for themselves. I'm going to speak for the president. And here, what I'll say is, look, and also it's just not my job. It's not my job to think through or to tell people what to think, right?
Oh, now it's not your job to tell people what to think. Interesting.
Tell people what to think, right? Whether it's the American people out there or a political analyst or as your question is about David Axelrod. It's just not my place to speak to that.
Oh, it's not my job to tell people what to think. Isn't that like literally what the press secretary's job is, to kind of like explain people the thought process and help them evolve their opinions on what's going on in the White House? Isn't it quite literally her job? Tell people what to think.
Bingo.
Is that right? Like, isn't that part of the job?
Yeah, I'd honestly love to see the job description. I bet part of it is constructing a narrative that is favorable for whatever president you're serving. Yeah. AKA trying to tell people what to think.
So literally the job. That's what your job is.
Yep.
All right. So she's just publicly commenting that she's not going to do her job now. Democrats, man. Democrats. What are we gonna do with these guys? And then she, she's not gonna change the American people's minds. She's not gonna tell them what to think, But she does know that with Joe Biden, the proof is in the pudding.
What I can speak to is how we see this, what our perspective is. Our perspective is that it's not about age; it's about the president's experience. That's what we believe, and it's as they say, the proof is in the pudding.
When the president turns 81, do we need to be making pudding references? Like, the president can't eat solids, and the proof is in the pudding. Why? Why do they do this? And honestly, the proof is not in the pudding. If this was a pudding discussion, there would be pudding everywhere because it's an absolute mess.
Right? The president has used his experience to pass more bipartisan legislation in recent time than any other president. That's just a fact. That is something that we have seen this president do, and that's because of his experience. He's been able to manage multiple foreign policy challenges. He's been able to do that. That's because of his experience.
Yeah, and shell companies and kickbacks and all that kind of stuff.
He's been able to create jobs, raise wages, and lower inflation.
I don't think any of those things have happened.
Right, and that is the proof is in the pudding, right? We see that in the data. We see that where we are today than where we were when the president walked into the administration. So what we say is we have to judge him by what he's done, not by his numbers. And
we have to judge him by what he's done, not by his numbers. You guys, come on. Don't look at the data.
And one more thing I will add, this is the first president ever that's been able to go to an active war zone without our military, controlling what's happening on the ground.
Oh, yeah, the active war zone. I believe she's talking about Ukraine, where they faked the air raid sirens for Joe while he walked around. But, the proof is in the pudding. Everything's great. Everything's great. Inflation's coming down. Don't worry about how expensive Thanksgiving's going to be.
Many other Thanksgiving staples are more expensive again this year. Canned cranberries will cost 60% more. Canned pumpkin prices have spiked 30%, and russet potatoes are up 14%.
Everything is more expensive under Joe Biden. If you don't believe me, Let's ask this wine aunt at the grocery store.
It's super expensive, and I'm sharing the cost with some of my siblings.
Definitely more conscious about what we purchase.
Everything's more expensive. Proof is in the pudding. Pudding prices up 30%. That's just, and that's one of the lower ones. But it is. It's more expensive at the stores. Your holidays are going to be more expensive. And it's, you know what? It's more expensive for farmers, too. The farmers in our country are feeling it just like everybody else.
Greg Gunthorpe says inflation just won't quit, hitting the farm's bottom line.
Oh, inflation has drastically impacted, our cost of production. Small family farms have a difficult time figuring out where we fit in the future in this with all of this inflation.
I feel bad for small family farms. That has got to be one of the toughest gigs to deal with right now with the inflation that we're seeing. And then Janet Yellen will go on TV and tell us inflation, it's considerably, we're making considerable progress.
So I think we're making considerable progress.
Proof is in the pudding.
In bringing inflation down. And we saw this clearly in last week's news. 12-month headline inflation is down to 3.2%. That's down almost 6 percentage points from its high. But although prices in general are rising much less quickly, Americans still see increases in some important prices, including food, from where we were prior to the pandemic. And this remains notable to people who go to the store and shop, or rents, although they're rising less quickly now.
Oh, yeah, it's noticeable. Only to the Americans that shop, rent, and go to the store, though. Proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is in the pudding. Don't believe what your eyes see. Don't believe what your wallet feels. Just take a good look at that pudding. That's where the proof is. The Biden administration is doing great. Inflation is not a problem anymore. That's old news. We're proof is in the pudding. We're past that. We're past that. Everything's great. Everything's great. So as you go into your holiday and you're going to be spending more on your groceries, you're going to be spending more on your energy bills, you're going to be spending more on everything, I just want you to remember, everything's great. The economy's roaring back. Joe Biden is doing the best he can, and nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Joe Biden might even take some time off and watch Wonka.
I wish I could stay and watch Wonka with you, but I'm not going to get to do that.
Oh, no, he's too busy. Never mind. All the man does is work. It's crazy. It's crazy. Have you bought any of your Thanksgiving stuff yet?
No, not yet.
Me either.
So both of us are going to be in for a rude awakening here.
I said to my wife, I was like, please buy the turkey. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how to defrost that thing. I don't even know where to begin. But I do know that if I have to do the bathtub method, my water is going to be more expensive.
Yep.
Guys, the proof is in the pudding. It's all over the place. 1050 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Phone lines, text line open for you, 615-737-9986. I hope that you are having a fantastic short week. And if you're listening to us at work, I thank you. And I hope you're not working too hard. Short week, all right? Let's get through this thing together. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
With Robinhood Gold, you can make your money do the most. Make your cash do 5% APY. At 8 times the national average, that's huge.
Still got that crash in Jolton. It is stop and go starting at the Springfield-Ashland City Highway exit 24. That is eastbound at 24. Then the North Loop downtown, the right lane is blocked by a crash. There's 65 southbound. And then 65 southbound at Trinity Lane, you've got an accident blocking the left shoulder. Sounds like we're close to a hostage deal in Gaza. Online hate and threat assessment teams on college campuses. Don't tell Americans the economy is great when so many are living paycheck to paycheck. Got the results of a survey coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
But did they check the pudding, Ken Weaver? Because
nobody can afford it.
I keep hearing that's where the proof is. The proof is in the pudding. Crazy. As we head up to Thanksgiving, it's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. As we head to Thanksgiving, you know, a lot of high schools around the country are getting ready for some high school football. And they do their spirit weeks. They get their pep rallies going. They get hype. Well, one Massachusetts high school,
a Roth IRA
in Wellesley High School, they put the kibosh on a certain day for Spirit Week activities. Do you know which one they canceled?
No idea.
USA Day.
What?
Yes, USA Day was canceled because the theme was viewed as overly political. So overly political. USA Day. It just said USA Day. There wasn't like an exclamation point or anything. It wasn't like USA Day or anything like that. It was just USA Day.
How dare you show pride for your country?
In a government-funded school, mind you.
How dare you?
Monsters. Jeez. I'm glad they put the kibosh on that. USA Day is canceled at Wellesley High School in Massachusetts. Too political. Finally, we're restoring sanity, I guess. Is that what restoring sanity looks like? I think maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna go check the pudding. Right now, Ken Weaver with the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 2 minutes. Israel-Hamas war. President Biden confirming what we have been reporting this morning on negotiations for the release of hostages taken by Hamas.
We're now very close, very close. We could bring some of these hostages home very soon. But I don't want to get into the details of things because nothing is done until it's done.
Senior Israeli sources telling ABC News Israel's government plans to vote on a deal in the coming hours. Meanwhile, in New York, Governor Kathy Hochul is giving money to colleges to identify people posting online hate and threat messages, which federal authorities say has skyrocketed since the start of the conflict in Gaza.
This will teach students and even teachers to help understand how to spot conspiracy theories and misinformation, disinformation, and online hate.
The governor says the goal is to help who she says are radicalized people find mental health assistance before they commit a crime. Here in Tennessee, Black Friday's coming, and retailers are facing the threat of a new kind of shoplifting. Several high-end stores in Nashville recently fell victim to thieves rushing in and grabbing and running away with as much merchandise as they can hold. The Tennessean says police will be beefing up patrols. They've installed sky cameras to help identify theft suspects. And in Money News, Elizabeth Schulze says a new report finds more Americans are dealing with financial struggles heading into the holiday season.
A new survey from Lending Club finds that 60% of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Many are blaming the stubbornly high prices when you go to the grocery store or for housing and for rent.
Right now, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York says the average household debt in America is $103,358. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
A Roth IRA versus a traditional.
Crystal Knott.
A Roth IRA versus a traditional IRA.
Hey, it's Chris Ann for Paul Winkler, Inc. I got 4 wonderful kids, and me and my wife knew that we wanted to secure our financial future for them and for us. And luckily, when we didn't have a plan, we were able to make one with Paul and Paul Winkler, Inc. Now, because Paul and his team hold themselves to a higher level of fiduciary standard than is required, I have to tell you that I'm paid every time this commercial airs. And I am. That's the truth. But that's not why I decided to become a client of Paul's. I decided to become a client of Paul's because I knew that he could provide me with investment education that would sustain me for the future. And they do that every single day. They help me with investment education that is backed by Nobel Prize winning research. And they can break it down to a guy like me so that way I can understand the education they're providing. Plus, with Paul and his team, when they're helping you make investment education decisions, they don't do anything on commission. So when they tell you a decision to make for you and your family, you can be sure it's for you and your family because nothing they do is done on commission. If you don't have a financial plan, you should check these guys out, Paul Winkler and Paul Winkler, Inc. They will help you get your financial life on track. So do what I did. Talk to one of his team members today. You can set up a complimentary 15-minute phone call right on his website, paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com or call 615-851-1950. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Short week as we get into the Thanksgiving holiday. I don't know about you, but I am so hype for Thanksgiving. So hype. Best holiday out. Better than Christmas.
Whoa.
It is.
Hot takes. I do love Thanksgiving, though.
It is, especially when you have 4 little kids. Like,
oh, man. Yeah, of course.
Christmas is fun. Christmas is magical, but it's like they always end up asking for something. Somebody's going to be disappointed about something.
Yeah, didn't get something that they wanted.
Not going to have enough AA batteries. Something's going to happen.
Yep.
Thanksgiving, man. Family, friends, and just chill. Chill vibes.
Yeah, and the weather's great. Go outside.
Oh, yeah. Toss the pigskin.
Yeah, exactly. Just hang out. Good food.
It's going to be awesome.
Naps.
Football outside with the family.
Yes.
Just chanting. Just
don't do this.
Don't do what?
Don't do this.
What? You guys don't chant when you're playing football outside? You guys don't?
E-A-G-L-E-S,
Don't chant that for sure.
All right. For the record, I'm not an Eagles fan. I like trolling Mac. I don't pay attention to much sports.
The Chiefs only lose a few times every year, so he's really got to cash in.
I do.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
No, we don't chant that. Profanity's frowned upon in my family. So
Fair enough. You got any big Thanksgiving plans, Mac?
Hanging out with the fam, man. Like you said, just chilling, straight hanging out with family and friends. That's pretty much it.
I love it. I love it. Well, I wish the government was into chilling as much as we are. Apparently they have no chill.
No chill.
They have no chill. The Pentagon has asked for $114 million to spend on diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in 2024. It's the most expensive DEIA request that they've had in recent years. Also, when did it become DEIA?
I was literally just about to ask. Wait, what's
it's like
diversity, equity, inclusion,
and accessibility? So it's diversity, equity, inclusion, and wheelchair ramps. What is that? That's how I took it. Is that not what they meant? I would be fine with them spending the majority of that money on wheelchair ramps if they wanted to. All right, cool. At least that one makes sense. But the Department of Defense requesting $114 million to finance its latest round of diversity initiatives. The DoD is using the funds diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Why did they add the A? Doesn't make any sense. But President Biden's request comes and it demonstrates the DoD's commitment to DEIA. It includes $114.7 million for dedicated diversity and inclusion activities. There's going to be activities. Although I doubt it's going to be like a 3-legged race and a barbecue. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what kind of activities they're talking about. I don't think it's going to be anything fun.
Not like cornhole or something.
Yeah, it's not going to,
no way.
Like, it's not going to be like fun teams, like bonding. It's going to be like, hey, watch this webinar and then answer these questions, bigot. All right, I will. It continues the funding across military departments, OSD, the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute is investing in programs and initiatives aimed at furthering DEIA and incorporating DEIA values and objectives and considerations in how we do business and execute our missions. So it's a couple departments I don't think we need. The OSD, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We could probably just cut them from the budget. The Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute. Can we stop funding them? I feel like we could save a lot of money if we stopped funding this stuff. This is the largest funding request of its kind yet for the DoD, which usually only earmarks $68 million for DEIA initiatives. That's what they asked for in 2022. They asked for $86 million in 2023, according to reports from the Daily Wire. And they say leaders at all levels are responsible for fostering a climate of inclusion that supports diversity, is free from problematic behaviors, and does not tolerate retaliation or reprisal against filing those complaints. That's what the DoD is saying. I don't think any workplace should be involved in any kind of harassment.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
That's not something we would want to do. Definitely not.
Ridiculous.
Why do people need to harass people? It's not cool. But $114 million? 114, and they wonder why we're in budget problems. They wonder why we're running out of money. It's $114 million for DEI stuff. It's no big deal. No big deal. They're going to be needing a lot of money We had that report the other week, Miranda Devine, New York Post, reporting that they're hiring lawyers at the DOD because they're worried about vaccine injury cases coming towards them. And more vaccine cases and lawsuits are being brought up against the U.S. government. Former troops are now suing the U.S. government for lost pay and benefits due to the Biden administration's military vaccine mandate. And that's from one of the lawyers who successfully brought down the anthrax vaccine. Attorney Dale Saran, a retired Marine, and fellow attorneys Andy Meyer and Brandon Johnson are representing the former troops in 3 separate lawsuits. They plan to turn into a class action lawsuit on behalf of all service members who were either kicked out or illegally ordered to stop drilling, resulting in loss of pay or benefits. I got a friend I'm going to text. Bro, jump on this class action lawsuit. Totally unfair what they did to our military. Totally unfair. Criminal. A guy goes out there and he's willing to risk his life for this country, and he gets kicked out because he doesn't want to take an experimental vaccine. That didn't work. It didn't work. Didn't work. This lawsuit, the lawyers are saying, is worth billions. It's worth billions. That's just flat out. That's what it is in back pay. It is billions of dollars. Lawsuits filed in U.S. Court of Federal Claims, which Seren said is a specialized court where illegal discharges are heard. The Court of Claims has been around since the Reconstruction era. It's a very old court and a kind of weird one, he said. But in any event, you can go there if you've got a claim and say, hey, I was illegally discharged, or the military did something to impede my pay or whatever. The Court of Claims is where you go. He estimates that there are 80,000 to 100,000 service members, both active duty and reservists, who are impacted by the mandates. While more than 8,000 active duty troops were kicked out, tens of thousands of reservists were told not to drill anymore or were moved to inactive status, he said. They were basically told, without the benefit of any due process, no boards were held. They didn't hold any administrative separation boards. They didn't hold any hearings. They didn't do any federal recognition boards. None of the administrative or judicial procedures were used. They just flat out did it. And then they got the Coast Guard to follow along, and they got a bunch of coasties too, the lawyer said. One of the former coasties suing for damages is Zach Loesch, whom President Biden had called personally to thank for saving people's lives during Hurricane Ian, as previously reported by Breitbart. At the time, Loesch was 2 weeks away from being kicked out of the Coast Guard for not taking the vaccine. So he gets a heartwarming call and a thanks from President Joe Biden, and then he gets kicked out 2 weeks later for not taking a vaccine. That's how the Biden administration treats our troops. That's how they take care of the men and women that are enlisted, that don't want to take experimental vaccines that don't work. That's how they do it. I hope that these guys win their lawsuit big. But you know what's the worst part about all this is if they do win their lawsuit big, it's you and I that are paying for it. It's the taxpayers that are on the hook for this and these disastrous policies of the Joe Biden administration. We're on the hook. Joe Biden isn't going to be punished for it. We, the taxpayers, will be punished for these decisions. Weird. Let's go to Frank and Bethpage. You're on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, Frank?
Yes, I had to take, when I enlisted, 75 or 1976, it was the swine flu shot. We went down there in droves, and that was the next big thing that was going to hit, so we all had to go take the shot. But that's more like a flu shot, where the base is something that wears off in a few months. If you take generally you take a flu shot, it goes, they say it lasts for 4, 5, 6 months, and then it's out of your system. But when they developed this COVID shot, like you're talking about, it's attached to your RNA, I guess, which gets attached to your DNA, which makes me wonder why you have to keep taking boosters. If it's in your DNA, it's there forever. That's your eye color, hair, and all that stuff. So, yeah, making them take shots has ruined a lot of careers. Yeah, so.
It's absolutely right. And one of my buddies in the Air Force, he had just re-enlisted, and he was like, I'm not taking that. And he brought his complaints. His complaints went all the way up to Lloyd Austin because he said, there's documentation that says if you've already been infected with whatever they're trying to mandate a vaccine for in the military, you can get out of it, whether it's chicken pox, whether it's measles. All you have to do is prove that you have a prior infection. His complaints went all the way up to Lloyd Austin, and he was still removed from the military.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's you can't say enough about it. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and it's like they don't give our men and women in uniform any respect. It's crazy.
None.
I mean, and I appreciate the call, Frank. And this story here, it's like this poor guy, Zach Loesch, gets a call from President Joe Biden to thank him personally for saving lives during Hurricane Ian. And then he gets kicked out of the military 2 weeks later for not taking the vaccine. I hope they sue the pants off the government. But again, we'll pay for it. It's going to be you and I paying for it. The taxpayer. Joe Biden's not going to personally cut a check. The only time he personally cuts checks is when he's, loaning his brother money, I guess. The lawyers in this case said the monetary damages were not only from lost back pay for our soldiers, but also from repayment of enlistment bonuses. He explains, say you enlisted for 5 years, you got a bonus and $50,000. And now they're like, hey, we're going to inject you with this. You're like, yo, that's experimental. Like, that's not actually licensed. And the defense secretary's order was that we only have to take licensed vaccines. That says experimental, he added. And then they throw you out. Now it's like, well, now you didn't fulfill your own obligation. Give us back the grant. So many cases like this. And in fact, the one that was FDA approved, I know firsthand from my friend. He says, they had the one FDA approved COVID vaccine. But when they were trying to mandate all of the guys in the Air Force at the time to get it, he said he went down to the theater to ask which one they had. They didn't even have the FDA approved one. It was just the experimental jabs. You see it all over the place. And I know that there's tons of men and women that were enlisted that have this exact same story. The lawyer in charge of these lawsuits of soldiers looking for back pay and lost pay and benefits due to the Biden administration's military vaccine, the lawyer says, we got a bunch of these clients. Guys getting money taken back. So not only did they throw them out of the job unceremoniously and wrongfully, now they're without a job instantly, no separation pay, none of that. And instead, they're standing out in the cold. And worse yet, here comes the government. Here comes the debt collectors. Now you owe us money. Hot garbage, the way they treat our men and women in service. The lawyer for these soldiers, Sarin, said the Pentagon already has the money to award back pay for those who lost active duty or drill time, since that pay is factored into their budget, the Pentagon's budget, and it's Congress already earmarked the money. He said, that's money we're saying was illegally kept. That's money that's fundamentally, as far as I can tell, has been stolen by the DOD. He reflected on his experience with the anthrax vaccine and called it deja vu. He said he defended people who refused to get the anthrax vaccine back in 99 and 2000 when he was a young judge advocate. He said, I did some work on the lawsuit Doe v. Rumsfeld that shut down the anthrax vaccine. And so here we are, second go around again, 15 years in, and we're right back at the mass vaccination of unlicensed vaccines like the government didn't learn last time. So nothing new under the sun. No, nothing new under the sun at all. The government doesn't do learning very good. Spoiler alert. Not the best at learning things. At least not the easy way. They may learn things the hard way. But I say good. I hope that these soldiers get their back pay, get the money for benefits, and get taken care of the way they should. Our soldiers and our veterans and all the men and women in service should have the red carpet rolled out for them. You're literally willing to put your life on the line, and you are kicked out of the military because you don't want to take an experimental vaccine. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long you've served. It doesn't matter how decorated you are. It doesn't matter if Joe Biden called you a week before to personally thank you for saving lives during Hurricane Ian, like the Coastie Zach Loesch received. He received that phone call. 2 weeks later, kicked out of the Coast Guard for not taking the vaccine. It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. Anybody, not just military, anybody who had been fired for not taking this experimental vaccine, I feel like has a lawsuit on their hands. Back pay, benefits, the whole nine. and they should pursue it to the fullest extent of the law. Nothing like this should ever happen in America again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I know at the end of this article he says, the government didn't learn from the anthrax vaccine. We should make them learn this time. And I say that knowing full well it'll be you and I paying for these lawsuits. They're not going to go into Joe Biden's bank account. They're going to come to you and I, the taxpayer. Still, they deserve every penny. It's 11:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Still got crashes blocking the way. We got the right lane blocked, North Loop downtown, and then an accident blocking the left shoulder, 65 southbound, right there at Trinity Lane. Sounds like we're close to a hostage deal in Gaza, but it's very shaky. A governor giving money to colleges to find radicalized people, but promises they won't be singled out for political views. These stories and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It's 11:25 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We were talking about military members who are going to be suing the government for back pay and lost wages over the vaccine mandates that were pushed. And I say, good. Our military men and women deserve more than they received during the vaccine mandates, and that's just the truth. They were treated lousy. They were treated like guinea pigs, and they shouldn't have been. And I got a text here from 3143 who sent me a link on Twitter from a gentleman in the 82nd Airborne Division, and he's got a story to tell about how the military is coming after him for money because he left gear behind in Afghanistan. Sounds familiar, right? Gear being left behind in Afghanistan? Well, listen to the story that this gentleman has to tell.
I want to share something with you guys today. I want to holler, I want to scream, I want to yell, but it won't do any good. Today is gear turn-in day for me. I turn in all the gear that I've collected over the last 4 years of being active duty with the Army, with the 82nd Airborne Division. 2 years ago, my unit deployed to Afghanistan for the Afghanistan withdrawal. We spent a few weeks over there. It was hectic, it was chaotic, it was disgusting, and it made me very disappointed in our government. Today, I'm reminded of how disappointed I am in our government.
You ready for this?
Go to turn in my gear. They want to charge me $500 to $1,000 for gear that I was ordered to leave in Afghanistan 2 years ago.
They're charging this member of the 82nd Airborne Division $500 to $1,000 for gear he was told to leave behind in Afghanistan. Didn't we leave behind billions of dollars in Afghanistan of military gear? And they're going to charge this gentleman $1,000 because he was told to leave something behind? Wow. And thanks again to 3143 for texting this in. It's unbelievable.
Because as the last two birds were sitting on the tarmac, ready to leave, there wasn't any room for extra gear or extra weight. Therefore, we were told to leave it. Some lower enlisted dudes, including myself, were like, no, this stuff is expensive. I'm not leaving this. I'm going to get charged for this when it comes time to leave. Don't worry. We're going to catch you on the back end. We'll flipple it. No.
Do you think that they caught them on the back end?
Nah.
I think they caught him on the back end. They caught him. They're trying to catch him slipping.
It's time to get out of the Army, and they want to charge you for that. Meanwhile, we can continue to give millions of dollars to the Taliban. We can give billions of dollars to Ukraine. We can give billions of dollars to student debt relief. We can give a bunch of stupid stimulus checks. We can cut those to the American people. But we can't cover $500 to $1,000 for a dude that left gear in Afghanistan. For a dude that left gear in a place that you put me to begin with.
And they told him to leave it.
The government is so stinking backwards right now, man.
Yeah. So stinking backwards. How do they want people to enlist? And they expect people to enlist in the military when we see video after video, example after example, over just the last couple of years, where we see how poorly our men and women who are in service are treated by our government. We see how poorly our veterans in this country are treated by our government. And then they go, oh, geez, I don't know why we aren't hitting recruit numbers. Oh, weird. Quick, fire up an ad with less diversity so we can get more recruits. It's the craziest thing. If you are a man or a woman and you are in the our armed forces, I hope you know that here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN, we respect and appreciate you a hell of a lot more than the government does. It's 11:30. Time for Ken Weaver in the news on Super Talk.
11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories this Tuesday morning. Full forecast in 2 minutes, and President Biden's expressing optimism about a deal to release hostages taken by Hamas, saying one is, quote, very close.
We could bring some of these hostages home very soon, but I don't want to get into the details of things because nothing is done until it's done.
Yeah, the deal being discussed would involve around 50 hostages released by Hamas, primarily women and children, in exchange for a 5-day pause in fighting in Gaza and Palestinian women and minors freed from prisons in Israel. New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced funding to provide college campuses with online threat assessment and management teams to find people expressing what she says are radical views online and provide them with an off-ramp like mental health counseling before a crime is committed.
So much of this hate originates on social media platforms like TikTok, who refuse to take action necessary to protect our children and young people.
Now she says no one's going to be singled out for political views. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hanford, Jeff Eddy's Efficient Heating and Cooling. If you need an HVAC guy, I got an HVAC guy for you. It's Jeff Eddy, and I know it can be so hard to find somebody you trust when it comes to these large home repairs, and that includes heating and cooling. But with Efficient Heating and Cooling, you got a company that you can trust, a company that provides big service and bigger results, and you can trust Jeff and his crew to do what's right because they'll prove it time and time again. Now, if you've had another guy over to look at your HVAC system, if you aren't sure that he's telling you the what now on what you need to do with it, call Jeff for a second opinion. Jeff will walk you through every option scenario so that way you can make an informed decision. That informed decision on whether to repair or replace. Most companies are just going to pressure you to replace the system because they make more money that way. That's not Jeff's style. If you can repair it and get some years out of it, he'll do that too. But if you do need to replace your unit, well, Efficient offers up to 18 months same-ish cash financing on your next unit. They're a diamond contractor with Mitsubishi Electric and an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. So if you need an HVAC guy, go to efficienthvac.net or call Jeff Eddy right away at 615-784-4424. That's 615-784-4424. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. So I made the comment earlier that I got stuck watching NBC News last night because my kids lost the remote and then the Roku TV wouldn't pick up on the app.
Ugh.
So there's like one button on that TV, so I had to like hit it and I got it over to live TV and went to the streaming channels and I'm stuck on NBC Nightly News. With Lester Holt.
Your children are unknowingly just torturing you.
Like, even when they're asleep, I'm being tortured by these kids. So I'm dealing with Lester Holt. And amid all of the fear porn and propaganda, gosh, it's going to be chaos traveling for Thanksgiving. Chaos.
Unreal.
Have you seen these weather reports? I know you have. You do the news in the afternoon. Dude.
It's about to be nuts everywhere.
Why would you want to go anywhere?
No, don't go. Don't go.
Don't go. Don't go. My wife was like, my parents are flying on Thanksgiving. I was like, I don't know if they're going to be doing much flying.
No.
They're probably listening right now. It's spoiler alert. I don't know if you're going to be doing much flying. I mean, it looks absolutely chaotic. There's going to be rain, snow, everywhere.
Well, I know just here at Nashville, B&A's estimated like over 35,000 people in that 2-day frame, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, hard pass.
Or a 3-day frame, I guess, yeah.
I don't understand why everybody travels for Thanksgiving. To me, I feel like it's a big waste. Like, I get you want to see family. I totally understand that. But it's only a 4-day weekend, y'all. Like, you're gonna waste 2 days traveling.
Easily.
And you've just turned your 4 days into just a regular weekend. With extra stress.
And whoever's hosting got to make the turkey. I got to make the cranberry drink. I got to do all of it now.
And in Joe Biden's economy, that's a pricey adventure. It is.
Don't.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
He's upset today.
Sorry. I have to get a turkey today. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yes, super text us in and help Chris out with his turkey preparations.
I thought somebody sent a super text about putting your turkey in the microwave. It was like, guys, I know better than that. All right? You may have fooled me, but you wouldn't have fooled my wife.
Yeah, if he would have been like, no, that's not
like, hey, super text told me we just got to microwave this bad, Larry. We'll be good to go. We're not doing that.
We're not
gonna do that. Like, but a super texter said
Come on. Don't you understand, babe?
It has to be true. There's nothing that the super texters have never steered me wrong on any
no
on any topic.
Purely good intentions.
I don't know why people would want to travel over Thanksgiving. It seems chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Seems chaotic. And I don't know. $14 airport pizza doesn't seem
gosh.
It doesn't seem like a Thanksgiving meal to me.
Man. $6 water bottle.
I'm good. My gosh. So it's just like regular Thanksgiving prices then.
Exactly.
Actually. I mean, seriously, it's going to be tragic out there. I honestly am waiting for the news reports, and I feel bad if you're going to have to deal with this. But I am going to be laughing while I watch it. I am. There are going to be few things that are more entertaining to me than watching the weather reports the day before the day of Thanksgiving.
You suckers.
Oh, my gosh.
You fools.
I tried to warn you on my radio show.
You weren't listening.
Maybe you missed it. Show starts at 9.
No, if you're going to do it, you got to leave like yesterday.
You should have left already.
Yeah.
Just go get a time machine and leave yesterday.
Yes.
That's the only way you're making it to Grandma's.
And I guess leave Saturday. I don't know. The coming back, I mean, you're kind of, unless you wait a long time into next week and take more time off, you're screwed.
Yeah,
but happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays. You should use that for the promo. Unless you leave yesterday, you're screwed. But happy holidays. It'll be the first show promos. Just Matt.
Just me.
Yeah, that's what we need. You're gonna leave early. You should have left yesterday, and you're dumb for not doing that. But happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys.
Have a great time.
Have a good time with your family.
Have a great time. Of course, I'm getting harassed on the super text line. 2626 says Canadians cook turkeys in microwaves.
Bingo.
All right. You got a bingo out of Mac. You got a bingo. All right. Joe Biden was pardoning turkeys yesterday. On his birthday. Our president works so hard. He's the hardest working man in D.C.
Oh, yeah. Selfless.
And then when he's not there, he's the hardest working man in Rehoboth Beach. So he's like the hardest working man in Rehoboth, and then sometimes he's the hardest working man in D.C. And then he works
so hard.
Anyway, he's working on his birthday, and he's about to pardon some turkeys, as is tradition. But he wanted to let everybody know that got sang to on his birthday.
And by the way, it's my birthday today, and they can actually sing birthday to me.
They can actually sing birthday to me. They can actually sing birthday.
It's my birthday today, and they can actually sing birthday to me. I just want you to know it's difficult turning 60. Difficult.
Yeah.
I'm super old. Ha ha ha.
Older than dirt.
Evil laugh at the end.
The oldest president alive.
I'm deteriorating before your very eyes. It's not fun.
It's not funny. Coughs and dust comes out. So people are wondering why I'm not ice fishing for Thanksgiving. Joe just texted in.
I love it.
We saved that for Christmas.
Also, lots of honey ham suggestions for you instead of turkey. But that's
I can't do ham.
I know.
Like, no,
come on, man.
Nah.
A small one on the side, maybe, but
I'll just microwave that turkey. We'll get through it. Don't worry. Just microwave that thing. 2956 says, go get a turkey from Popeyes.
Yeah, is that a real thing?
Is that a thing? Do people do that?
See. I'm fact checking.
Fact check that, Mac. Can I get a turkey from Popeyes? I imagine I could get some weird looks in there if I asked. If I showed up.
Oh my gosh!
Can you really?
Oh yeah, $60. Our turkeys are going
$60?
fast. Yeah, no, 60 at Popeyes. It's a Cajun style turkey.
Love that turkey from Popeyes.
It's a good slogan.
Pretty solid. How come they didn't put any marketing money behind this?
Yeah, I've not seen this anywhere. How many pounds are Popeyes turkeys? Wow, 14-pound turkeys. These are some big ones. These are decent size.
These are some big ones. we got a big one. All right. Well, I guess if it's either all right. So now I'm in microwave or Popeyes. Is that the options I have?
That's where you've sunk down to.
All right, bet.
Just like leaving for Thanksgiving early, get the turkey early, I guess, too. Those are the two things we're learning today.
Dude, I had one job, and I failed. I literally, before I left the house today, I said to my wife, I was like, can you please buy that turkey? Just leave that sucker on the counter. Everybody's saying, just get deli turkey. I'm not getting deli turkey. I have a bounty of turkey roll-ups for Thanksgiving dinner. Cajun deep fried turkey from Popeyes.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's crazy. Some stores are out of stock.
What?
They're selling.
Are there going to be like fist fights over this, like the chicken sandwich?
So.
Is that where we're going next? It's like a Thanksgiving fist fight at Popeyes.
Yeah, a lot of ham text, and I mean, again, Chris may be Canadian, but he's still getting a turkey, guys. Come on.
Yeah, you got to get a turkey. I actually can cook, for the record.
Oh, nice.
I will be cooking the turkey. I've done it before, and it won't be from Popeyes.
Okay, you'll have to teach me. I'm going to have to start doing that soon.
Dude, I'm not going to teach you.
Okay. Sounds good. I guess my first try will probably be microwaved then.
Here, let me put in the directions for Popeyes on your phone. That's the best I can do. Oh my gosh. Somebody says, Chris, you mean MSNBC didn't have the Popeyes commercials? I didn't see it. I didn't see that. They said it was on ESPN too.
ESPN, oh, okay.
The worldwide leader in sports ball. I didn't watch it. I only usually go to ESPN when there's some woke sports takes. Hot woke sports.
That should be the hot woke sports.
Hot woke sports. Now more steamy. That's what they do. That's what they do on ESPN.
Hey, Renee says she does do turkey roll-ups and they're amazing.
Well, we do the roll-ups for the kids for lunch. I don't think I can get away with that for Thanksgiving.
You stuff them with stuffing, bake with gravy over top. Man, I've never heard of this. And Renee, you're swaying me.
What is she saying? What do you do?
You stuff them with stuffing. You bake with gravy over the top. Way easier and more flavor.
Yo, let's step it up a notch. After you get those roll-ups out, you should slice them, turn them sideways. Country sushi.
Hey, there we go.
You like that?
Nice.
I just came up with that on the fly.
That was beautiful.
You like that? Do you really like that?
Do you really like that?
Do you like that idea? I don't know. My kids might like it.
Yes, they will like that.
All right. Joe said a traditional Thanksgiving is actually lobster. You could have also watched the Chiefs lose last night on ABC.
All right.
I don't know why. Why did he bring that up? That's so weird.
The bumper music begins.
Hold on.
EAGLES Eagles!
I love the holidays.
Do I have enough time to get that in one more time, Mac? How much time we got left?
EAGLES Eagles!
The Chiefs, what happened last night? What was the final score?
21-17. They lost.
Who won?
EAGLES Eagles!
Music's getting loud, Chris. All right. Music's getting loud. So that probably does it for me. Hey, so just to wrap it up, you can get a turkey from Popeyes. You not recommended microwaving it, and I won't be teaching Mac how to cook. But in the meantime, thanks for hanging out with us. It's the Chris Hand Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Super Texters are saying we could also go to Hattie B's for a turkey.
I saw that.
I would definitely go to Hattie B's over Popeyes. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The first thing Matt Murphy comes in and says to me is like, you haven't seen the advertisements for the Popeyes turkey?
The same guy that says, hey, I watched network television for the first time in forever last night, then said, why is Popeyes not advertising this turkey thing? Which they are. It's all over the joint.
I didn't see it.
All over the joint.
Also,
not that I would get one, but
I was dying watching the news last night. First, it's fear porn. It's propaganda, but I haven't watched it like Lester Holt in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what NBC is positioning themselves as?
Mm-mm.
The news for Generation Now.
Oh, that's a good hook.
Isn't that a doozy?
Right? That's a good one. Generation Now, as opposed to Generation
Then. I was like,
have you really not gotten a turkey?
I've not. I don't know.
Now you got to get a fresh turkey.
I know.
Can't get a frozen turkey. Too late to unthaw the thing.
Is it too late to unthaw the thing?
Yes. It's Tuesday, man. You need at least like 3 days.
Well, I'm probably gonna have to talk to Virginia because I said you got to go pick up a turkey. So if I have a frozen one now, I got to go get another one.
I think maybe. I mean, 48 hours. That's probably it. If you're putting it in the oven, maybe. But
I'm running out of buffer zone here. Running out of it fast.
Love that turkey from Popeye.
That's so funny.
I bet it's good.
Are there going to be fist fights over it?
I mean, I don't know.
It can't be that good then. Anything worth having at Popeyes, there's at least one scrum.
The first thing I said to Hand is I love listening to two foreigners talk about Thanksgiving. So
they have Thanksgiving. First of all, I'm not a foreigner. Second of all,
That's
if
true.
I was, they have Thanksgiving in Canada. They do that as well.
Do they?
My wife.
How do you know?
My wife. My wife texted me. She said she got the turkey.
Frozen?
I didn't give her a follow-up.
Just leave it be.
Yeah,
it's done.
It's
done.
done.
It's done.
I just hearted.
It either works or
I just
doesn't.
hearted the message and I just moved on.
48. You got 48 good hours, maybe.
Yeah, it says so 8 pounds, 2 days, 12 pounds, 3 days, 16 pounds, 4 days, 20 pounds, 5 days. How can you thaw a turkey in the microwave? Yes, the answer is yes.
No.
Allow 6 minutes per pound when thawing a turkey in the microwave.
Trolling me.
I swear.
You know what Mac Morey's mad about? Mac Morey's mad because I've been playing this all day. And now he's trying to make me microwave a turkey.
EAGLESE.
Won some money on that game.
Did you?
Yeah. Won some money on that game. I figured Mahomes would lay an egg. It happened.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Mahomes laying an egg. Yeah.
Always happens.
Yeah, drop on third down, drop on fourth down, drop touchdown
Goodness.
pass.
I watched some of that game.
Pitiful.
My goodness gracious. I mean, how are you here today? I'm surprised you didn't cut out on you, Hand.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
And can I speak for a moment? Can I defend for a moment the good people that travel on Thanksgiving? Because you're like,
I'd besmirch them.
You're trashing them.
I am so because you're defending them because you're traveling, and I am going to be watching the weather reports, Matt Murphy.
I'm on the road.
Smirking.
I'll be on the road. I won't be in the air. But I mean, you answered your own question before you got to the period.
What do you mean?
You said, "Why do people travel on Thanksgiving?" I mean, I get seeing their family, but why do they do it?
Dude, ask my wife. I'm always answering my own questions.
Right. So I'm driving in the car. I mean, I guess this is your job, by the way, to get me to do this. But I'm driving in the car going, they want to see their loved ones. They want their grandchildren to see their grandparents. That's why they travel on Thanksgiving, because family.
So to recap, I had you interested in the topic, I had you reacting to the topic, and I had you hooked. Nailed it.
Bingo.
There you go. That's how Biden gets votes too.
If Murphy gets angry later
doesn't
on
make
in
him
the day,
doesn't make him a good person.
You can blame me.
I got 3 hours to respond, and I will on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hang out for Murphy's show. He's up next on Super Talk.
EAGLESE.